Hi there, I'm Trunks from Dragon Ball Z Abridged, and these are the anime egotists. You know, in the future, podcasts are a little bit different. They're actually from pods. You know, people trying to hide from the androids and everything. I had a favorite podcast for a while, but it got canceled. By the androids. They got killed by the androids. Don't get killed by the androids!
And welcome back to the anime egotists, where nobody would use the sensu beans on us. They just wouldn't.
I got one, but then I accidentally dropped it in a hole, so...
That sounds like a personal problem, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder if Krillin has any more.
He does not. But anyways, my name's Alex, and I still try the Kamehameha. I'm not gonna act like I don't.
We all do.
Oh yeah. After a while, I did get a little frustrated. I tried the special beam railgun, but you know, it failed as well.
And I'm Richard.
That is correct, and we are joined by he got an introduction last time, so Toonz and Goons, he's here.
What's going on?
And we are also joined by a man who you might remember him from one of our past videos. You might remember this person, but you probably don't want to know this person because there's a lot of stuff he's done that's probably not the best. But anyways, we have our expert, Jabari Bennett. What's up, buddy?
Hello, everyone. I am not a predator of any kind, but I do bad things.
Oh man, we're off to a rocking start already.
He might,
Monetized.
but I'm okay with off to a rockin' start if we rock the dragon with Dragon Ball Super. Dragon Ball Super Hero just came out, and we all had the chance to watch it. Hopefully we all watched it by this point. Hey, just a heads up, this is a review. They're gonna be spoilers, so if you haven't seen it yet, we'll give you a chance to. Okay, while they're gone, let's just keep reviewing the movie. So overall,
if you're, why are you watching the video if you haven't seen it? That's my question.
You know what? There are probably some people who'd rather just listen to our thoughts on it beforehand, and I want to thank those people.
You know what? That's fair. That's fair.
But normally I like to be courteous and ask our guests what they thought, but I'm not doing that this time. I'm going first. I thoroughly enjoyed this movie. I had so much fun watching it in the theaters alongside a friend of mine. Some nitpicks aside, I had a lot of fun with this movie. What do you think, Richard?
I'm in the exact same boat. I really enjoyed it overall. There are some issues, and we'll go over them as we go through the movie. I think we kind of split it, so half of us have seen the dub and half of us have seen the subbed, so it'll be interesting to see everybody's thoughts.
All right. Toonz, Jay.
So I'm gonna just be honest with y'all, and I know I personally will probably get some backlash for what I'm about to say. And this isn't a recency bias because I went back and I rewatched every other Dragon Ball movie before I went to see it. This top 3 Dragon Ball movies of the entire franchise might be my absolute favorite. Like, it might just be the top, just because of how much I enjoyed it, the things that were like in it, the little aside that they did, the little moment. And it was always the little thing that made me go, oh, you cheeky bastard. I love y'all so much for that. So I will say, yeah, top 3, maybe my favorite of all of the Dragon Ball movies. Really.
Okay.
Truly.
Jabari, what were your thoughts, buddy?
As a Dragon Ball fan, this is probably, like Jay said, it's probably like my top 3 for sure. I thoroughly enjoyed the movie. The animation was a little wonky at times, but I will not deny, like, the animation kind of worked for the movie too. So I genuinely enjoyed this movie.
Okay, yeah, and as Richard said, it's half of us watched the dub, half of us watched the sub. I don't have any necessary in terms of which I prefer in terms of talent. I just watched the sub because that's when my friend was available. Plus, some of you guys know Funimation and I don't do business, so it just seemed easier to do the sub.
That's fair.
But anyways, should we Actually, no, we can't get into it because I've been neglecting someone.
Oh no.
I felt awful about this, but the person who did the thumbnail for this video, our good buddy Tosif Ahmed, he's also done thumbnails for, well, just about every one of those commentaries I've been doing, and I just have never given him some love. So I just want to just send him some love and say, you are the best part of this channel. But technically, you're not even completely part of this channel, but you're still the best part of it. But Tosif, thank you, buddy. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so
Oh, yeah,
much.
absolutely.
All right, should we get into the movie?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, seriously. I will say, and I'm sorry, I'm kind of jumping the gun on this one, but I will say this right now. I watched it in IMAX. I was one of the ones that watched it in the dubbed. I didn't watch it in the sub because it worked out timing wise better for me to watch it in the dubbed versus the sub. And even with that being the case, I think whether I watch it dubbed or sub, it'll still stay in the same place as far as top 3 for me. It was a great movie, all top to bottom, and
Yeah.
I'll let you guys do the kind of reviewing. I'll be more of the opinion, I guess.
Oh, I felt like that was going to be me. But regardless, we start off and we learn about the Red Ribbon Army and just how quote unquote dangerous they were before, a 5-year-old completely destroyed them.
Yeah. Yeah, this movie is definitely for people who actually really enjoyed Dragon Ball, the original.
That's right,
Richard.
goddammit.
Just Richard.
And me, I enjoyed the hell out of Dragon Ball.
It was good. Dragon Ball was good.
Yeah, it was solid, but just nobody talks about it besides Richard.
So kind of the opening scene, we see this insect following this car with a weird dome on it, and it's revealed that this is Carmine is the name of the person driving it, and he's going to visit Commander Magenta, the son of Commander Red.
Yeah, first, I just want to say I loved Carmine's hair. His pompadour style thing, it was amazing.
Dude, the pompadour style was great. And I made a note to say this because I wanted to say this at the beginning. I 100%, and it is canon in my mind, nobody will ever tell me anything different. Carmine is a mass media student that graduated and never got anything in his field, so he tries to inject it everywhere he can.
I actually agree with that statement.
So
I agree
every
with that.
mass media student. So
Exactly. That's why I know I'm one of them.
I still have nightmares about it.
Oh.
No, who doesn't? Me.
Oh.
I don't.
Yeah, but regardless, they get to Magenta, and what happens next, Richard? And yes, Magenta is his name.
So they're discussing their plans and how it was actually them behind the whole Cell and Android saga. They still were funding the doctor and all that for that part. And they find out that his grandson, Hedo, is smarter than even his grandfather. So they're going to recruit him pretty much.
Yeah, and we also get a canon appearance, or cameo by Android 21. And we learn
bullshit on that. I call bullshit. There's no way Jerome's old ball sack ass.
No.
There's no way in hell he did. No way he pulled that off. There's no way on my honor, on my life, he pulled it off.
Okay, Jabari, you know Danny Phantom, right?
Yeah.
You remember Vlad, how he had the Maddie program?
Yeah.
I assume it's basically just that. Like he created a program, but in the end, Android 21 left him for the Jack program. Yeah, but also we learned that she is dead, and well, there goes my shot if I had any. But okay.
No, but I gotta say, I was in the theater, and mind you, there might have been 10 of us in the theater. And if any of those 10 happened to see this, I apologize, because I will admit I was loud and laughing and enjoyed myself thoroughly. If I was alone in my apartment, and when I saw 21, I like audibly went, "Oh, cannon, bitches! Yes!" And I was one of those people, because I was like, 21, I was waiting for them to find a way to make 21 canon. And so I was like, okay, this is awesome. Now they'll probably find a way to inject 21 later into the story from like before, but like it's great because like, okay, fine. Now finally we have like quantifiable canon to put her in to at least be able to be like, this is where she fit.
Hey,
this is how she fit into everything else.
As long as you had your pants on for that moment, I'm okay with it.
My pants stayed on until a later thing. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it.
Yeah, but we get to, and they basically talk and say, we could recruit Hedo for our project. And they do, and Hedo was in jail for, did they ever specifically say what the reason was?
Yes, it was, he had stolen 3 bodies from, I guess, a local morgue, and then outfitted them to be cybernetic or like android, basically reanimated them as android to rob a store, and it got linked back to him, and so he got put in prison. And I wanted to make a note of this because I thought it was so hilarious. Magenta had wanted tea, and so when Carmine was like, you're gonna have to wait 3 months, and he was like, for tea? And he was like, no, for Hedo, because he's in jail. And I thought, I don't know why that moment cracked me up so much. It was one of it's one of those little moment aside that made me laugh, that made this movie so enjoyable for me.
Yeah, well, to me, that's kind of the thing about this movie. Like, you could tell Dragon Ball Super Broly was kind of an intense movie. This felt very heartfelt. Oh, sure, there was some great action and a really sad moment towards the end, but it felt very heartfelt and enjoyable.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But anyways, they get I almost said ghetto. They get him out of jail. And they learn that he's also he knows they've been watching him. Because
that little insect. Yeah, that little insect that we saw at the very start is actually another android that he built while in prison.
Who the hell kidnaps bees and turns them into androids?
The apple doesn't fall too far from the tree, because if you remember, Dr. Gero had a ladybug that he was using to spy on Goku and all of the Z fighters. This guy Hedo had a bee, so they stay with the insects.
Sure, and they get in the car, and he also reveals, oh yeah, I've also made adjustments to my skin so I can take some damage, which we'll get into in a little bit.
Foreshadowing.
Yeah, and they talk a lot about basically. They try to convince Hedo that the Z fighters are evil. Well, and as sad as it was in some aspects that the more side characters didn't do a whole lot, we at least saw like Tien, Yamcha, Chaozu. We at least saw them for a brief second.
You know what? During that scene, when I was watching, I was just like, you know what? If you weren't a part of that whole like group, anyone would actually think that, because it is very suspicious that they keep fighting these aliens. Then they all do fly to Capsule Corp a lot, and they do all this crazy crap. So I can't blame them for thinking they're aliens. It's like an actual plaza. Well, they are aliens actually, so yeah, it's true. But you can't really blame them for thinking that way.
Yeah, plus some of them are dangerous. Remember, Yamcha was the first person to hit Beerus in several thousand years, so...
True.
That's true.
Yeah, so they in the car, and they're convincing him, hey, we need to stop this. And Hedo, I like about him that he's not completely stupid, that he's like, I'm not necessarily doing this for you or just for the money. I'm kind of just doing this. Also, he gets bribed with... I guess Dragon Ball is sponsored by Oreos at this point, because there were so many of them.
I wanted Oreos, man.
I wanted Oreos so badly after that.
I will say, and there was a thing that I don't know why I liked it, but at the same time I was like, I feel like they're trying to push it because of the naming of the movie. Hedo was like the most, I don't even know how to describe it. He was like, I am a hero. I love superheroes. If it doesn't have anything to do with superheroes, I don't want anything to do. Like, he was so just like concerned that it was superhero based. And I was like, okay, so this is how we got the whole hero tie-in. because we had that one character, which that's really like my biggest critique with how almost like narrow-minded he was about this hero aspect.
Well, in that point, he's a kid, so him being obsessed with heroes to me made
24.
it made complete sense because he's a kid. He lives in a world where they're flying aliens, man.
Yeah. Also, his parents and grandparents are gone, so it's not like he had anybody to tell him, "Hey, maybe grow out of this phase."
Which is very true. You know what?
Yeah, speaking of, how old is this little bastard?
He's 24.
24.
No fucking way.
Yes, they said it in the movie. He's 24 years old.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't remember them. I remember everything in that movie, but not his age.
Yeah, they said 24. But basically, he agrees to it. We get the opening thing, and we see a little girl running around punching Piccolo.
Yep.
And her name was Pan.
So far, the best version.
By far.
When I tell you, when I saw Pan, I was like, oh my God, she is so adorable. Like, I was like, this whole movie could have been centered around Pan, and I would have been happy. Like, she was so adorable. And I was like, if this is the Pan that we're going to get moving forward, this one right here, I will completely forget everything that happened with GT, because, oh my God, this is the Pan we should have gotten for GT, because she's great. She even though she's 3 years old canonically at that point, she has a mind. She has a Saiyan mind for fighting and getting stronger. And I love that. It's not about just, oh, I'm following behind my dad and granddad. No, she is actually wanting to get stronger. She wants to surpass her teacher, who is Piccolo, canonically. Why is Piccolo the freaking teacher of the Z Fighters at this point? Like, why is he the teacher of the new generation?
He is the only one, let's be real here, he's the only one who could actually be a parent. None of them can be parents.
That is true, and he's also the third strongest member at this point, pretty much.
I will say, when I saw this is where when I saw like the animation and everything happening and the fights and everything, I'm gonna be honest, I got a little emotional. I'm like, I've been watching this franchise for so long, and I still love it. They're still finding ways, even when I don't like something. I'm always like, what's next? What if? I don't get that way with a lot of stuff anymore, but Dragon Ball has been able to do that. I was watching it in the theaters. I'm like, good job, guys.
Right.
Speaking of the animation, at the very first scene, I really wasn't the biggest fan just of that car scene. It looked very video game to me. But once this scene hit and we start seeing it for the fights, it's like it feels fast paced, but you see it what's actually happening better than what we've seen a lot in the anime itself, because it's a lot of times they speed everything up to make it look fast. It still felt fast, but it was still, you could see every move as it happened.
Yeah, but basically Pan and Piccolo start talking, and she's basically like, I want to learn how to fly. And Piccolo's like, you can't.
Literally, he was like, this ain't something I can teach you. You gotta feel it, you know? You feel it in your body. You feel it in your soul.
You have to feel a tingle in your back. Wait, no, wrong thing.
I swear, if she turns Super Saiyan by the age of 6, I'm going to be like, you've beaten everybody else.
Goten and Trunks did it.
Yeah.
Were they 6?
They were like 7 and 8.
Oh my gosh. And we're gonna get into Trunks and Goten later on.
Oh,
I have a lot of strong feelings about.
Okay, but basically, Piccolo is also very, very nice to Pan. Probably because he realizes at some point she may end up surpassing him. But they also basically say, "Oh well, I have to go to preschool now because I can't just keep doing this," and they keep emphasizing that. Well, Piccolo gets a call on his cat phone thing. And he gets a call from Videl. Oh, yeah, remember? She's actually in this thing. But she does about as much as she does in the actual rest of the franchise.
Oh,
and I call it like I see it.
You're not wrong.
And she basically says, hey, can you go pick up Pan after school? Because I can't, and neither can Gohan, because we're both just awful people.
And
They're all bad parents.
I will say a couple things. First, it bothered me the entire movie that I could not think of who it was that Piccolo was holding his phone similar to, because I was like, there's somebody else in anime who holds their phone like this, and it's bothering me. Then I remembered freaking L from Death Note held his phone like that, and that's why I was like, who does this? And I love it. But then my other thing, dang, where was I? I lost my train of thought. We were talking about Panda. Yeah, can we talk about how Piccolo literally was like, what is it with you guys with being parents? And he literally called it out. He was like, why is Gohan not available? Gohan's his dad. Gohan's her dad. And she was just like, he's doing work for his job. And he was like,
at least Goku was dead. At least he had an excuse.
You're not wrong. And I just appreciate Piccolo's his reason and his rationale throughout the entire movie. Not just in this moment, but like the entire movie. But this moment in particular, he was literally like, he's her dad. Why can't he? What do you mean he has a job?
Of course, he says he'll do it. And Videl says, "Oh, I'll buy you another plushie," because he has like 20 of them in his house. And he's like, "No, why do you keep thinking I want these?"
First, he tries to say food, and he was like, "I've already told you, I live off water."
Paul, gonna talk about like the amount of Dragon Ball like abridged references in this freaking movie.
Okay, I thought it was just me. I really did. I was like, they've done a lot of references here. Man.
Anyways, Richard, what's next?
So Piccolo goes to Videl and Gohan's house. Pretty much she's like, what are you doing? Like, what is so important that you can't be there and pick up your daughter yourself? And he knows he can't knock, so he goes to the window and pretty much nail on chalkboard to get Gohan's attention.
And Gohan starts freaking out, and he's like, "Oh, well, I'm working on this insect thing, because apparently insects can transform golden. So I guess Frieza's teaching a class on transformations, and these insects are his first pupils."
It's got to be. I made a note right here because I saw it. Why did they make Gohan at that particular moment look like such a bitch? Like no muscle definition, got their big ass glasses, which we'll get into the glasses later. And it's like, bro, what is this? Like even his like Dragon Ball Super, like when we came back in the original anime of it, he didn't look this bad off. And this is supposed to be post Tournament of Power. So, like, where did his muscle definition go? Where did his, like, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt that maybe his dress shirt messed it up, but, like, my goodness.
Okay, so this is my question to y'all, and tell me if I'm misremembering, but he, at the end of Super, says he wants to find a more balanced life, not just being the super educational side. He wanted to work on being a fighter as well.
You are
I
correct.
believe
He
so.
did say that.
Yeah.
He did say that. But remember this, though. How many fucking times has he said that?
That's very true.
6.
How many times have he said that? Like, my
Probably.
man is, this is like the 4th time he's done this. And I think it's going to just keep happening.
Yeah, but one can hope that he would actually keep up with it for once.
Well, maybe
One would hope he would take care of his kid, but he ain't doing that either.
Well, from the looks of it, later in the movie, we can kind of see Pan can take care of herself. But regardless, Piccolo tries to throw a strike at Gohan, and Gohan blocks it easily. And it's like, see, I'm not that messed up. And Piccolo just slugs him for it, which was the right thing to do, if I'm being completely honest. He gives him his weighted clothes, and Piccolo just sort of leaves.
Gohan struggled with them clothes. It was
Right, he did. He really did. He was like, I'm not going to be able to focus. Help!
It wasn't a good start for Gohan.
No, it was not.
That.
We're going to talk about how Piccolo is the GOAT.
Oh, hasn't he always been?
But like in this movie in particular, he's kind of the main character.
Yeah, everybody said, "Oh, this is going to be a Gohan movie." Like, no, this was a Piccolo movie.
Yeah. I was actually like pleasantly surprised. I was like, I haven't seen Piccolo in this much of spotlight in years. In years.
What's next, Richard?
So if I remember correctly, the next scene is Piccolo is meditating over his mountain and I guess vision training or just training, and then he's attacked by Gamma. Or is it the Beerus
Gamma
planet
2.
scene?
No, I think
Gamma
I think
two.
it I think
Gamma
it
two.
was I think it was the meditation because it was after the meditation he ends up going, which he ends up going to contact or trying to contact. That's how we end up on
Okay.
the training. So yeah.
All right. So yeah, he's attacked by Gamma 2, which is the first fighting enemy that we find in this movie.
And Gamma 2 is kind of odd.
Oh, and kinda nothing. He is a strange individual. Like I saw him and I was like, who the fuck? What? And I was like, hold on, why you got the blicky? Like he literally he shot Piccolo and then he was like, yeah, boy, what's up with it?
And he and Piccolo fight and he handily wins. And he thinks he's vaporized Piccolo, but that's not true in the slightest.
No.
Because he's also an idiot.
Apparently, even though he's supposed to be like an exact replica of Gamma 1, but whatever.
Yeah, and we also get Piccolo talking to Bulma, contacting Bulma, and saying, "Hey, so we have a problem. We need to get at what's up with Vegeta? What's up with Goku?" And we learn Goku and Vegeta aren't really in this movie that much, are they?
No.
Are they ever on Earth?
Nope.
No,
Nah.
nope. They went to wherever it was. Whatever that planet is that they're always on.
Beerus's planet.
Yeah,
Yep.
and oh, what did they do to Beerus in this movie?
Oh, dude. Not for
Okay.
a cat and as a
Okay.
dog. Straight up team.
Okay, so we see Goku, but it's not just Goku and Vegeta. There's one more Saiyan here, and I'm not going to beat around the bush. It was Broly. It was
Oh,
Broly.
I thought it was Starbles.
I was so happy to see Broly. I was so happy to see Broly. Oh my god! Because I heard he was going to be in this movie, but I didn't know what he was going to be doing. This was kind of perfect.
And
And
let's
it's-
open it up. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, this is the perfect explanation for why he's there, though. It's literally so that Frieza can't come get him again and trick him into doing something or imprison him or whatever it's going
Yeah.
to be.
Not only that, but it's also controlling his spirit because they said we've trained with Broly a couple times, but every now and then he gets a little too excited, and they bring up people, and then they go to Vegeta, and Vegeta's just meditating, and Goku's like, "Why are you meditating, dude?" And Vegeta's like, "It's not just physical fighting. When we fought Jiren, and he meditated a lot. He trained his mind instead of just his body." And Whis is very proud of Vegeta. Whis probably being one of my favorite characters this movie, but then again, I just love Whis.
Whis literally popped up, and I thought it was so great because it shows how Whis, even if he's not always present with their training, he knows what they're doing and he knows what they're saying. Because as soon as Vegeta explained that, Whis popped up and was like, "Very good, Vegeta. You understand. You are so great at doing this right now. You're understanding that it's not just about training your muscle until you can't go anymore. Goku, I'm looking at you."
Yeah, but we also learned that Broly's friends are running around on this planet, and look, I was happy to see Lima. Oh, because he's voiced by one of my favorite Japanese voice actors. But we also see everybody's favorite character from the last movie, Chi-Lai, because she was
She's
everybody's
bad,
favorite
bro.
because
She's bad. She's bad.
yeah.
Let's be honest. She's bad.
Yeah. And Beerus notices that and says she's cute.
I died. I'm not gonna lie. When I saw that scene, I was like, Beerus got that dog in him, don't he?
Bro, when I tell you, I saw that scene, I wrote it in my note. I was like, Beerus may be a cat, but in this scene, he went full dog. Dude took one look at her and went, "Oh, I like this one. Hold on, wait a minute. Something different. Something different about this one."
What they did to Chilai in this movie was absolute absurdity. Everyone was looking at her butt the whole time. Everyone's like,
Well, to be
Damn.
fair, hers and Bulma's, because they do a very. I didn't like this that much. They were
I'm
like,
so
hey,
glad.
look at Bulma's butt, because
I'm so glad you mentioned that because I literally made a mental comment was like, damn, they really about to do this. They about to make Beerus. Like, Beerus, calm down. Your horny is showing. The very next scene is literally a full frame shot of Bowman's ass. And I went, damn, I'm a hypocrite. Look at that ass.
yeah, but they also talk about at some point how, oh well, we might have to deal with all the other, not the Supreme Kai, the other people from the different universes, and it shows Jabari's
Gods of destruction.
Yes, and it shows Jabari's least favorite god of destruction, that little yellow rat thing.
That little bastard needs to die.
Agreed. But they also brought up Frieza, but I doubt there's any reason for people to care about what Frieza's doing in Dragon Ball right now, so I guess we shouldn't even address it. So who cares?
Read the manga. Read the manga.
No, nothing's happening in the manga. But anyways, they basically just go have ice cream, and Beerus lets everybody eat together. But that's the best character development he's ever had.
Oh, it's no character development. He's trying to show that he can be nice so he can show that he can be nice.
Anyways, so Virginia and Christian were acted. Oh shit, wrong notes. Sorry. Anyway,
okay then.
But they basically say, Whis says, "Hey, Goku, Vegeta, you guys train together. No transformations." No transformations, no Kamehamehas, no nothing. And I love that.
No planet busting.
Like, I just love how we're getting more just hand-to-hand combat and how that was emphasized. And if you miss the blasting of energy, just wait till the end. Trust me, because that's a lot of what it is.
Yeah.
But I will say, and this is for the literal 5 minutes that we get to see them in the movie. This was by far I think this is one of my favorite fight scenes that they've done of recent Dragon Ball history, just because of the fact that like you said, no beam struggle. There wasn't no kind of transformation with them in their base form going hand to hand. There was a moment of callback to the Majin Buu saga where instead of Goku being in the rock, it was Vegeta. And I was like, oh, that's so cool. Even though he didn't have him trapped by the arm and leg, he had him up against the thing. It was a really good moment. And
but we also don't stick with it too long though, because we get back to Piccolo, and he's following the person who just completely clapped him from earlier.
Yep.
And he ends up disguising himself as one of the Red Ribbon people. And I gotta say, these were some of the nicest henchmen I've seen in the movie. Piccolo shows up late at one point later in the movie, and it's just like, hey, are you all right? It's like, oh yeah, I had a stomach problem. It's like, oh well, if you have to poop, go for it. They were surprisingly nice for everything they were doing.
I genuinely did not want any of them to get hurt.
No, same here.
Yeah.
But we basically learn around, and we also learn one of our new favorite androids has a clone.
Gamma 2. He is not just himself. He is also Gamma 1.
Yeah, and Gamma 1 is very, very stoic and basically the straight man. And seriously, Gamma 2 basically tries leaning on his shoulder the whole time during the dissertation, and One's just like, no,
get off me.
Stop it.
Get off me.
Yep. And what else is going on? They talk about how Gamma 2 didn't actually locate Piccolo's body, and Gamma 1 goes to the computer and just goes, found him. Took him a second to find him in the video.
Yeah.
Quite literally.
And they basically keep talking about this thing called Cell
Max.
That's right. Cell Max. And I'm kind of conflicted on how I feel about Cell Max, but I'll get to that later. But Piccolo flies off once they're dismissed, I guess, and he's in his uniform talking on his phone while he's still in this area where he could be caught by people.
Mhm.
He's talking to Bulma, and the henchman walks by and just says, "Hey, how's it going?" and just keeps walking by. I kind of thought he'd be getting caught at some point, but I guess not.
That
They
was
all
my
have-
biggest surprise in this movie that he never got caught.
Hey, man.
It's because, you know, and I will say, I think it's because they all believe that when they're in the layer of like the Red Ribbon camp, they don't believe that anybody that's an outsider would ever actually get in, because realistically, like nobody's supposed to know where it is. So that's why they're just so trusting. It's like, oh, if you have on the uniform, then clearly you're somebody that I can trust. Oh.
Yeah, but basically Piccolo escapes, and they head to the lookout. He heads to the lookout, correct?
He's looking for scenes from Korin, and we get him from Korin and Yajirobe.
Side note, Yajirobe looked good for how long he's been moving around, because he's like, what now? He got to be like 30s, 40s now. Like he looked good.
It's got to be more than that. But he also just got paid to basically stand and say little to nothing.
Well, he's the eye candy.
Well,
of course.
Turns out they're actually married.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
But we find out that there's only 2 sensu beans. So
Okay, it's been 3 years since. It's been 3 years. Where? Who's eating all these sensu beans? Are they having more enemies, or is Goku just stealing them?
Yajirobe's fast is eating them.
I could see that actually.
yeah.
Yeah. But this is where they go to the lookout, correct? After that?
Yeah, because Piccolo gets the idea that Dende is the same type of Namekian as Super Kamiguru, or whatever his name is, actually.
I just call him the Elder, but okay.
Okay.
I think they called him Elder Guru.
Yeah. Yeah, and so that he goes to Dende and says, "Hey, remember when he unlocked Krillin and Gohan's unlimited potential? Do that with me." And Dende's like, "I can't, but we can get the drag. I can upgrade the dragon, because you can do that on a regular basis, apparently."
Know what? I call bullshit on that when I watched this. I'm not
same.
gonna lie. I
Same.
was like, that makes no sense.
The plot armor. I was like, what do you mean you can upgrade the dragon? What? What do you mean you can? Wait a minute. No. So you mean to tell me you could have upgraded this dragon to have unlimited potential and unlimited power, but you waited to do so? So you're, oh yeah, I upgraded him to have 3 wishes now. Where was this when we were looking for Goku?
He should have just said, "Well, I would have done it earlier." Why? You didn't ask. And Piccolo would have smacked Dende across the solar system.
Yes.
God forbid Vegeta figures that out too.
And they pour some, and they pour some gin, I guess, on top of the dragon case, and they say, "Oh well, don't we have to go look for the Dragon Balls?" And they say, "Oh no, well, turns out Bulma has been finding people to collect the Dragon Balls for her lazy ass, and she's been using them so other people don't use them. To help humanity? No. Just to look younger."
Yep. It's the dragon's literally Bulma's plastic surgeon.
Without actually making it look like she got plastic surgery.
Yeah. But rather than them say, they basically get the Dragon Balls together and they say, "Okay, Piccolo says, Shenron, I need you to unlock my potential." And I do like that when Shenron shows up, he calls Piccolo Master Piccolo. At least in the sub, he does. Like, there's an element of respect there rather than just, "Oh, you idiots again. All right, what do you want?"
And there was a moment, and I'm glad you said that, because now it clears up. When Piccolo summoned him, there was a moment where he was like, "You have summoned the great Shenron." Then he looks down and goes, "Oh, it's you." And then he goes into like, "What are your wishes?" And I was like, okay, no. I wasn't sure if he was talking to Piccolo or to Bulma because of the fact that they had mentioned, like, oh, Bulma summons him all the time. So, okay, he was.
Oh, I
talking
thought
about
you meant
Piccolo.
at first when you said it's you. I didn't know if you meant Piccolo and Bulma or Piccolo and Kami, because they called him Kami a couple of different times in this movie.
Which, like, yes, we have established that he has absorbed Kami. Like, yes, please.
And no one ever talks about that. And I'm happy they actually brought it up.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
The one thing that did kind of bother me is they said, "Hey, Shenron, unlock my potential," rather than say, "Hey, Shenron, give Dende the ability to unlock potentials, just in case we have to keep doing this with other people." But
No, they're not good at their damn jobs, Alex.
no,
which is something that gets brought up immediately after they get done with all 3 wishes. They literally go. Piccolo literally goes, "Okay, I got my potential. Wait, you did these wishes so you could look younger. Why didn't you wish for Goku and Vegeta to be back here?" And Bulma was like, "You didn't do it either. You could have done it."
Yeah, but that's the other thing. Bulma tries to contact Goku and Vegeta for this, but Whis' staff notification ball thing is covered by a carton of empty ice cream.
Yep.
Hey,
And
I said
apparently
I
that's
like
enough-
the goofiness in this movie, so I guess I have to stay consistent. But okay.
Yep. Apparently, it's enough to block out everything, so that, like, what, 5 people who have God Key can't figure that out.
Nope.
They were watching the fight. I don't pay attention to my phone.
They're not
when I'm
even
watching
powered
the
up.
fight.
They should be able to sense it or something.
Nah, it's like a cell phone. It was on silent mode. It was on vibrate.
Anyways, Piccolo gets his potential unlocked, and immediately I felt like they're gonna they're gonna make Piccolo badass again? Because I've said before in the video, I was like, I think there's still a chance to save Piccolo, and it seemed like they were starting to do it in this movie. But let's get a little deeper into it.
All right, so Piccolo heads back to the Red Ribbon base at this point, to pretty much continue to be a spy, which is actually kind of interesting that one of the arguably the most standout characters in, like, how they look is the one infiltrating this secret organization.
I can't tell you how excited I was to see stealth implemented into shows like this. I love seeing it, especially when they said, "Hey man, are you good? You're looking kind of green." And he's like, "Oh, God." And they're like, "All right, it's above my pay grade, so I guess we're good." Yeah, but we also learned that Hedo doesn't want to use Cell Max because he has morals. Whatever those are, I'm not completely sure.
Yeah, part of it is also to do with that Cell Max doesn't have a control program, which we don't find out exactly what that means a little bit later.
And I love the interaction here because at that moment you were starting to see the cracks in the foundation of, like, okay, Magenta wants to go ahead and open up Cell Max. Hedo was like, let's not, because Cell Max is not. No, Cell Max is going to destroy everything if we open him up right now. Let's just take a little bit of time. Trust me, you don't need to worry about that. We got 1 and 2. They're good enough. Let's wait on that. I got you, the genius here. I got it. And I felt like plot was very well laid out. Like, nothing felt rushed.
Yes, that is very true.
Exactly, and I really thought Piccolo was going to get caught at this point. And I also thought they were going to forget about Pan at preschool, but they're like, "Oh, hey, we got to kidnap Pan and her mom, so Gohan will come out." Not really sure why they think this is a good idea, considering everything that happens, but the movie has to move along at some point. But Piccolo, not being a total moron, decides to volunteer and help with it.
Exactly. And so him and, I guess, kind of tier henchmen are sent to get Pan, and the mid-tier henchman says, "Just stand back, I got this." And it's just a preschooler and her teacher. And Pan's like, "I recognize this kid or this person, and punches him in the stomach and
Fucking
knocks him out.
wrecks him. Like, dude, he got wrecked. Like, I did not expect that. Especially because of how big he was. I was like, no, they're not gonna have.
And then Piccolo runs up and pretty much tells the teacher, "Oh, this is just us testing the security for Mr. Satan."
Yeah, not only that, but she senses Piccolo right away.
Literally.
We'll get back to that though.
Which
Also-
actually comes up again in a couple scenes. We'll go over.
Which is why, yeah. But and they get onto the ship, and Pan's like, "Wait, whose is this? Wait, whose is this?" And Piccolo says, "It's the Red Ribbon Armies." But I would have said, "It's ours now. Where do you want to go?"
And this actually is one of my favorite parts. Piccolo never got his license. He specifically mentioned the fact that when Pan questions his flying abilities.
I got my license. Same. That was such a great moment to me.
Oh, wait, I forgot something. You know Guys Know Gamma, right?
Yep.
Yes.
When Gamma attacks people, he has comic book phrases like pow, bang, shabam, and Piccolo just straight up says, "Why are there words coming from his attacks?"
That was hilarious. Which we do later see. We did later see that when Gamma 1 was telling, when 1 was telling 2, like, hey, you need to have like a cool pose after you defeat it. You didn't even pose or anything. You just like flew off. So like you see that like there's some kind of like projector thing that pops up whenever he poses. So there's something that Hedo has programmed into them to pop up to do that. That was so cool. Yeah, I thought it was one of those nice little moments.
But anyways, Piccolo decides, let's take you to the place anyway. This way, Gohan can come save you, and we can all basically get this worked out together. And Pan is completely on board with it, because it's Piccolo.
That's why I said I loved it.
Yep. And Pan, for a 3-year-old, is a surprisingly good actress because she actually plays not necessarily 100% believable, but believable enough for the bad guys.
Well, also believable enough for Gohan, because once they get there, they also say, "Hey, let's go get Gohan and bring him here." And they film like a 3-second video, and it's like, "Hey, hey, you better be scared." And she does it in one take.
And
Yeah,
I love how
I was gonna say, I was actually more afraid that the bad guys wouldn't believe that she's scared of them than Gohan actually doing it, because, well, it's Gohan at this point in the movie.
yeah. I was gonna say I love how when they were recording that video, you get like turn to the other side, you see like Magenta on the couch, Carmine, and I got like one of the robots, and then you just see Piccolo in the very back going, "Yeah, you're doing great. And that's the shit that I love right there. That's it.
Yeah, but regardless, they go find Gohan because these guys are idiots. But then again, they're not the biggest idiots, because I think that's Gohan, because they get there and Piccolo points out, "Hey, you have to go to the window and do the nail thing."
Yeah.
And oh god, Gohan can't sense that it's Piccolo.
Yeah.
Jabari, what were your thoughts on this, buddy?
Literally.
More than your own dad, and you can't sense that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God. So they pretty much convince, or Gohan's like, "Take me to her," and they climb back in the ship and fly off. And they arrive back at the Red Ribbon Army base, and Gohan pretty much actually kind of does like the superhero landing thing and goes kind of angry, not full power at this point.
Yeah, there were not enough Great Saiyaman references for me in this movie.
I was gonna say, before they end up going back to the Red Ribbon base, the bigger bad guy showed the video, and you get this moment, which was I thought this was the most like one of the best handling of this moment because we got to see a glimpse, but it wasn't so like obvious. When he sees the video hand, he goes outside and you see him like power up and it like destroys the ground underneath him. And he's like, what have you done with her? And you see that glimpse of that power of like the angry. Because remember, it's established in canon when Gohan gets angry, that's when he snaps and can unlock his ability. So you see the glimpse of it. And I was like, they're not gonna, which I had no idea what was going to happen. So when I saw that, I was like, what are we? Everything that
So
I mean, I was going to say I was okay with that, but there was also the moment where they're like, "Hey, you need to come with us," and he was basically like, "Go away." But we're gonna beat you up. No, just go away, or I'm gonna call the police. I'm like, Gohan, you freaking wuss.
yeah, then they pull the gun and he's just like, I'm gonna call the cops. And he's not even scared. It's just he's like, I'm just gonna call the cops.
Gohan,
he has no
Gohan, I
like,
hate
he has
you.
no patience. I actually thought that was kind of funny. I was like, he's like, what the hell's going on here? Like why am I? He's like, I'm not wasting my time with this. Let's be honest. Vegeta would have done the exact same thing.
Mhm.
the thing with Vegeta though, Vegeta wouldn't have given them as many chances, and Vegeta wouldn't have flicked the gun out of his hand. Vegeta would have flicked him into a mountain.
You're probably right about that.
But
Well,
I
actually,
love that.
and think about Vegeta though, real quick. If he had been in this scene and it would have been Bola, he would have killed them all in a matter of seconds and didn't search the
absolutely.
world.
I wouldn't have blamed him.
That's just how he is.
Not to mention, I love that this fight took place in the rain. I don't know why. There was something about this fight that when it was in the rain, I was falling in love with it. Oh my god.
It was the animation. It was. It worked because literally when they get to the base, he sees Pan. He breaks out of the ship and he like drops to the ground and you just see the water just whoosh. And it was that moment I was like, oh my god, this right here, the animation won me over at that moment right
And
there.
he
I was like,
still
oh,
had
I'm sold.
And he still had his glasses on.
Which I'm happy the movie actually does make fun of this thing as it's later on in the movie, but we'll discuss that when we get to it. But
yeah, the
pretty
fight
much he's.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say that pretty much the fight starts between him and Gamma 1 and Piccolo and Gamma 2 start fighting.
And
not yet.
Sorry, go
wasn't
ahead.
Just then. It wasn't then. They did start fighting, but what ended up happening, remember, Piccolo was like, I need to figure out a way to make him get more serious because he powered up, but he wasn't serious enough. So he literally was like, Pan, I need you to pretend like you're scared for a second. And the most obvious that he was faking it, like he literally had her by like the collar and then was holding her feet. But Gohan, I guess, just can't see at that distance. So he literally was like, Pan! Boom! And like supercharges, like goes full potential mode. And I was like, that was great.
I was okay with it.
That was great.
I was also okay with him losing at that point because it was revealed that Gamma learns as they're fighting. Like, as they're fighting, they study their opponent's movements and everything.
Yep. All right, so yeah, I forgot about that part, but yeah, and then pretty much it's him and Gamma 1 are fighting, and Piccolo reveals himself and starts fighting Gamma 2, who's like, wow, I didn't actually believe that I hadn't disintegrated you until now.
Yeah, but one of the small things is I noticed there wasn't a lot of time where they stopped fighting. Like, they would have conversations, but the fight would still be going on, which I really liked. And it almost distracted me from the fact that Gohan hit Genma 1 with a freaking brain buster. And just picked them up,
Whoa!
them, and just boom.
And it wasn't even just a regular one too. He had him in like the chicken wing. Like he had both under. He had the underhook, and he literally picked him up and went boom. And I was like, you who? I was like, who's the wrestling fan on this animation team? Who is it?
Everybody. Literally everybody at this
All
point.
of them.
It was great because I literally was not expecting it. You just hear Piccolo called out to Gohan. He's like, "You're still fighting. Keep fighting." And he was like, "Oh yeah, all right, cool." Bam.
Yeah. But the fight goes on, and the soldiers start. Most of them start to realize, yeah, this is not working. We're most of us don't even have names, so this isn't going to work for us. So the fight continues on, and Piccolo's starting to get destroyed, and this is where things start to change.
Yep. So Gamma 2 knocks him down into one of the many pits that are in the Red Ribbon Army's base, and we see a symbol appear on Piccolo's back as he's falling. And then he comes up and he's like twice as wide as he was, orange, and probably like 3 feet taller.
And when he powered up earlier, he was still orange. I mean, but this was freaky. I actually, my jaw dropped a little bit when I saw that. And he starts trying to get punched by people, and it's not working. He's having none of it.
Man, no soul.
Yeah, I was about to say the exact same thing.
Yeah.
He got punched, like Gamma 2 punched him in the gut at least 3 or 4 times. He just stood there and looked at him, and then he just decks his shit. And I was like, oh, okay.
Jabari,
nice.
what did you think of Piccolo's transformation?
It was long overdue. Out of all the characters, he's the one who desperately needed like something, anything. I liked it a lot. I like the color, even though I am colorblind, so I really didn't see it until they told us what color it was. But my man turned into a straight up Chad. He became a JoJo's character,
Really
basically.
Yeah,
but I like that.
I could believe that. But the fight continues on, and the bat, and they're also talking to Gamma and saying, "Hey, you're fighting for the wrong thing." And they kind of realize, yeah, but they have a weird argument against it that I can't exactly remember off the top of my head, but they also
following orders.
Yeah. And they basically get convinced, yeah, you're doing the wrong thing. Especially Hedda, because he starts to realize, y'all are running away? Y'all suck.
Yep.
And it was at that moment that when they were running away, Pan had broken out. Let's also call this moment. Pan had broken out of her handcuffs, which was established earlier in the movie. Piccolo had rigged them some kind of way. She broke out whenever she wanted to. She was fighting the foot soldiers. Then she goes to try to stop Carmine. Well, I don't know who decided to let Carmine be the goon this movie, but Carmine pulls out the gun and starts blasting at a 3-year-old. I was like, hey, yo, who approved this? I was shook. I was like, how?
Part of me wanted Carmine to be revealed to be a good guy at some point, but we weren't so lucky.
So, but yeah, Pan knocks Carmine out, and then Commander Magenta's pretty much running away. And at first you think he's running away to like escape and just leave the base. No, he's actually running away to activate Cell Max. Because we get a... Go ahead.
Okay, this part, I don't know. I guess my feeling was they weren't going to, like, we know Piccolo, even with all of his character development, he probably wasn't going to kill them. Gohan definitely wasn't going to kill them. Their lives weren't really in any danger. I could understand if it was like Frieza or Vegeta or something like that, but just like, oh, now we just want to take you down. I'm like, that's not gonna, you morons. No, that's not gonna work out. But yeah, the movie we had a runtime to fill.
Ah,
So, Magenta and Dr. Hedo are pretty much down in the lab that has the Cell Max pod that's holding his, what is it, semi-perfect form?
okay, so it
The
It
reason
looked-
why they picked that form to be the guy is because Akira Toriyama, that is his favorite version.
Okay.
That is his favorite version. That's why towards the end of the Cell Saga, when he gets punched in the belly, he reverts back to his second form because he just really likes that form.
That's interesting.
Yeah,
makes sense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd heard the same thing.
But Hedo basically tries to stop them because he's kind of realizing, no, this isn't what I wanted. And he's in his superhero gear, and Magenta basically he shoots him a couple of times, and of course, Hedo remembers, hey, my skin is still good to go. Oh, it can take a bunch of punishment. And Magenta pulls out a rack of clothes and changes into a superhero costume, and Hedo lets him.
Oh, if we're taking off our clothes now.
But
Yeah, but Hedo stops
This
him.
brings back, this brings back that little insect that it can kill anything pretty much. If it's an android or a living being, it's pretty much can be killed by the little insect. And it stings Magenta, and he does this weird kind of dance dying action.
Yeah, and it looks like the day is saved, but Hedo doesn't know to finish the job, and he's too busy posing and talking to himself. And Magenta frees Cell Max, because he could have just finished it off so easily.
I wanted to ask y'all, did Magenta die? Like, did that canonically happen? Because we never
My man's eyes was white. He's dead.
Because I never saw, or at least I guess I wasn't paying attention to Magenta after Cell got released, but like after he hit the thing, did he die? Because we never saw him again after that.
No, we saw his corpse.
Yeah,
he got
he got the same look as the earlier corpses that Hedo had reanimated. They had like the green skin and all that.
Right.
Yeah, and also right around this part, we get some company. We get Bulma, but we also get Krillin, 18, Trunks, and Goten. And on one hand, I was happy to see them, but on the other hand, I'm kind of thinking they weren't completely necessary.
You gave us and this is going to an earlier point when you talked about like we saw Tien and Chaozu and Yamcha. Don't bring in Yamcha. I don't care about him. Don't bring in Chaozu. He's useless. But you mean to tell me you bring in two children, they're still children at this point, who, as far as we know, have not trained because one, Bulma, as much as she doesn't like it, Vegeta tries to, he still doesn't get as much training. And Chi-Chi, as far as we know, even from a moment that Bulma has talked about later in the movie, Chi-Chi despises Goten getting any kind of fighting action in. So like she said, oh, I brought in the rest of the mightiest heroes of Earth that are here, but you didn't bring in Tien? What do you mean? Tien is easily on par with Krillin. We just came off the back of the Tournament of Power. We know what they can do.
All right, let's not beat around the bush here. Let's be honest here. Krillin is trash. Krillin is absolutely bad.
And Bulma made
Let's
sure to
put
say
it-
that multiple times in this movie.
But they did him so
he
dirty.
straight up roasts him in this
They
movie.
did
And
him
I
dirty.
was like, Tien at least teaches and trains on a regular basis. Even 18 called his ass weak.
But it's kind of become a running gag that Tien just disappears on his own at times because he's pretty much done it since like the end of the Namek saga. He pretty much, whenever they don't need him, he's off training, or when they need him most but don't want to bring him in yet, it's like, okay, he's off somewhere. We can't find him yet. He's hiding his power level.
And I'm very annoyed.
The reason why they never.
Go ahead, Jabari. Go ahead. Finish up.
The reason why they don't. Okay. The reason why they don't really use Tien is because he's a Chinese allegory, and the Chinese and the Japanese tend not to get along very well. That is the actual main reason why he's not used.
Yeah. Not to mention, if you want the strongest character, remember, there was another tournament that you guys were in. One of the people on your team defeated Hit with one shot. Where was Monaka this whole time?
He's off planet. Remember, he's got a whole universe he's got to take care of.
Of course. But basically, Goten and Cell Max is huge and terrifying.
Yeah.
Doesn't say a single word, but he somehow the big bad of the entire movie.
So this is my big problem with this movie.
Thank you.
They missed such a good opportunity to have him taunt Gohan if they had him being able to speak and being the strongest person pretty much there at that point, because of Gohan's just not able to power up far enough. But he's just kind of a mindless monster which is really disappointing.
But to be fair, we also get a good moment between Goten and Trunks saying, "Hey, let's fight together. Let's do this." And they fuse, and it's the first time we get to see them fuse as basically as as young older kids. They fuse, but it doesn't go well.
Yeah, they're pretty much. Let's just call them teenagers because they're modeled after Teen Gohan and size.
That almost doesn't even matter to me compared to what we got. Because Jay, how did the fusion go exactly? Why don't you tell us?
I knew it was gonna be shit when Trunks suggested it, and Goten was like, "Yeah, how did it go again?" And then they went for it anyway. As if Piccolo, the man who quite literally taught all of them how to do it, was not standing right there. He was literally right there. You could have asked him, hey, what do we do again? What do we do? I know you're in the middle of the battle. We get it. What do we do? How do we do it? We don't want to mess up, because we do remember if we mess up, it's going to be bad. And they mess up anyway. I would have just preferred them to just stay unfused for what we got. If we're being 100% honest, but I want to take a moment, and I will say this before I go into that. I 100%, Richard, you hit the nail on the head. They should have given Cell, the Cell that we got, Cell Max, should have been the powered up form. We should have gotten a moment where we got a smaller version of Cell that recognizes Gohan. Because remember, we had data on them. We had data on everything that they had done up to that point on planet. So we should have had Cell have a moment where he goes, "I recognize you, but you are not nearly as strong as the one that I faced," and then let that sink in. If you want to have some kind of emotional connection to what happens later in this battle, you need to draw that connection between Cell Max and Gohan. Because if you want Gohan to have that growth, that development, you need to make it mean something. You don't just need to throw somebody in front of him and tell us that is what it is. You need to draw that connection. Don't just tell us, show us and tell us. Draw it. That literally was the biggest thing for me. I was like, why can we not have it? Because it's right there.
Can I say something in that regard?
Yes, please.
The reason why this also sticks out to me is because if it was just a big giant monster and it was like this, I'd be like, okay, cool, whatever. But they reference the androids. They reference Dr. Gero. They reference Cell. Cell and Gohan have a connection, whether you want to admit it or not. Something should have been done to rectify it. But that's really all I got. You said a lot of what was already doing this.
Sorry, and
my mind instantly went, he's going to somehow start to transform into his perfect form, and then he's going to have a mind or something that develops in this form, and then the reason Gohan's going to end up the hero of the movie, he's going to threaten Pan, and then we're going to get the power up.
Nope, because first of all, the battle continues, and it turns out Krillin's like, "Hey, Piccolo, can you grow? You've done that before. Piccolo's like, oh, I forgot about that because it's not a good sign when
I forget
everybody.
all of his powers.
But the thing is, though, I'm actually kind of glad that they do bring that up and they mention it, because even after he got bigger, he was like, "Oh, you should be on par with Cell now," and he was like, "No, me getting bigger isn't necessarily me getting stronger. This is basically just a big bluff. Like, I'm bigger, sure, but I still have the same power as I did when I was back that other size."
Yeah, but
And
I guess
like
my
that.
point. But they've done this before with Piccolo because he got eliminated from the Tournament of Power when he could have just stretched his arms and grabbed the ledge.
Yeah.
And Piccolo.
So
everybody's basically getting clapped. It's not good. It's not a good sign. And Piccolo is basically saying, "Hey, Gohan. Oh no, we have to talk about Gamma."
yeah, that was the part.
I don't want to talk about it, but we have to.
Okay.
That was
So
great.
Cell Max's main weakness is the very top of his head. Apparently, Dr. Hedo installed that as his weak point because he wanted a way for, I guess, the Gammas to be able to destroy him, because he's like, he doesn't trust the Red Ribbon Army. It's been revealed at this point. And we get the only thing that Gotenks is worth. He lands a headbutt thanks to like 4 other people and cracks the dome.
So he charges Cell. Cell smacks him into, I believe it was Piccolo. Piccolo smacks him into Gohan. Gohan smacks him into 18, and 18 like spikes his ass down on the Cell. And I honestly thought it was funny because we get that side moment. I think Piccolo said it. He was like, "Huh, I guess that form isn't so useless after all."
Yeah,
like,
but we also see
Gotenks'
Gotenks' butt, and I probably could have done without that.
No, we cannot call that form Gotenks. If the failed version of Vegeta and Goku is Veku, we need a name for Trunks and Goten when they fail.
Can it just be fail?
Gunks? Is it going to be Gunks? You know, I'll accept that. Fail. I like it.
But now we get to the big emotional part of the movie. Do you want to talk about it, Alex?
I don't, but I kind of want to skip it, but I guess we have to talk about it. So, Genma 2, who's basically known as one of the more rambunctious one, the posing one, the comedic one, basically says, "Everybody get out of the way. I'm going to hit Cell Max on the top of its head with my best attack." But it's also revealed that when you hit Cell with that, Cell explodes, and you're not going to survive it. And this is one of the best animated parts of the movie, because his attack is freaking insane. I can't even really describe it. You just have to go see it for yourself. It works, and it weakens Cell, but Gamma's gone. Gamma 2's gone.
It was wild.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna lie. I was very sad to see that. I wasn't ready for that.
Oh yeah, it was terrible, and this did lead to one of the, and I will say, after that, it almost felt like they tried to undercut it, because almost immediately after, we go to Piccolo and Gohan, and Piccolo's like, "Hey, here, take the last sensu bean, please. I have an idea." And Gohan is like, "Wait, what do you mean? I thought you had already eaten it." He was like, "Nah, I saved it since you dropped yours." Which we didn't get into that because we didn't talk about the glasses. I'm actually really, I'm still a little ticked by that. Doesn't have his glasses. Piccolo makes note of this. He goes, "Wait, you can't see when you're in your base form, but when you're Super Saiyan, you can see just fine." What? So he gives him a sensu bean. There's 2 left, mind you. There were 2. He gives him one. He goes, and then he drops it, and it falls into the abyss, never to be seen again. As far as we know, an ant ate it, and that's how we ended up with 1. Piccolo gave him that 1. He was like, "I have a plan. You need to be more confident, buddy. You need to get the bitch out your ass, and you need to get more confident. We'll be able to beat him if you do." And he was like, "Are you sure?"
Yeah, but But then Piccolo's trying to will Gohan on and say, "Hey, we need to fight this guy." And like Rick, and one of you said that Pan probably should have been Gohan's reasoning for this is what's going to get me to power up. Nope, it was Piccolo getting clapped, and so just proving that Piccolo is probably everybody's favorite in that universe because he's the only motivating factor anymore.
Oh yeah.
Well, he's everybody's daddy.
I don't like
he literally had a if you watch the Marvel movies, he had a Yondu moment. Goku's your father, but I'm your daddy.
I don't like the way you said that. But then Gohan gets another transformation, basically. Jabari, what did you think of his transformation?
It was interesting, to be honest with you. It was clever. It's different. The design is pretty damn cool. I'm curious how it'll look like not in 3D. His hair was long as shit, but
yeah, it's like
I don't know what that is. I honestly don't know what that transformation was. I can't.
I looked it up online just to find out what the name was because they never mention it.
I
It's
saw
called
the movie today, so that's why.
Yeah, it's called Gohan Beast.
Oh,
That's literally all that's called online.
I heard Beast Gohan, but Beast Gohan sounds cooler to me.
Go ahead. Sorry.
I was gonna say, you know what? Just make that kid an animal, man. Make him an animal in the streets. Make him an animal in the sheets.
Oi.
Oi.
I was gonna say that I was gonna nominate the name to be Super Saiyan Platinum or Saiyan Platinum just because of the like sparkles and glitter that came off of him when he first transformed. I was like, Platinum. I like it. And I mean, it's only going to be Gohan's transformation, but I thought it would have been a cool name for it. But
that isn't
Gohan Beast.
It'll be Gohan's transformation until people beg for it to be added to Xenoverse 2, which I'm not even going to act like I wouldn't try to get it, because I would.
So, I enjoyed it. As I said, it doesn't feel 100% earned for him. I really liked Piccolo's transformation. It felt earned for Piccolo for what he has gone through.
Oh, trust me, I'll get into that towards the end of the movie. But Piccolo holds down L, and everybody else basically does nothing. And Piccolo said earlier, "Hey, finish him off with a Kamehameha or something." And Gohan picks and something, cause puts his fingers to his temple. Blast Makon Kosapo, and it's basically it. And this attack was you could honestly go to the movie just to see this attack, and honestly, it'll feel worth it.
Yeah, that and when I wanted to mention this because I thought this moment actually did move me. Like I teared up a little bit when Gohan had that moment of like he snapped. They basically recreated the moment from the Cell Saga where like you get like that and then you see like the red line behind him where like that was the like him like snapping and then he transformed and I was like I remember when he transformed when I was a child.
I got a bit hyped for that. But in a perfect bit of character development, unlike the Cell Saga, he doesn't waste any time. He's like, all right, let's do this. Boom, we're done. We're not letting this thing blow up the Earth and come back twice as strong, because we don't have Vegeta for that. Also, Pan can fly now, because she was escaping the plant that was basically exploding.
Yep. And let's see. Yeah, pretty much, yeah. They're all standing there celebrating, and then Gamma 1 turns and goes, "Run, you fools!" Pretty much because they're celebrating, and the body's just falling down a cliff.
Yeah, but we also see Gamma 2, instead of just shutting off and having final words, it basically just disintegrates. I was not prepared for that, and I was not happy about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, up until that moment, I think everybody had hope that Gamma 2 would be rebuilt, fixed by Dr. Meadow. And
maybe they could have been wished back, but somebody had to look prettier.
Which does beg the question, because there are the Dragon Balls. It may be a year before they can do it, but there are the Dragon Balls.
Yeah, but basically they get to their. Basically, they're all talking, and once again, they're also just roasting Krillin, because I guess that was another aspect of this movie. Hedo and
weird.
But he's the most useful of all of them. He
No.
saves his wife, and then he uses solar flare, which is like the final distraction. He's literally, of like everyone besides Piccolo and Gohan, he becomes the most useful one to arrive.
Yeah, but Bulma says he's shit, so I guess he's shit.
Which my thing is, there was a moment, and it was when after Pan learned to fly, Krillin had Bulma on his back, and she still had the nerve to talk shit. Like he couldn't just fly up and drop her ass. Like,
okay, if he had done that, how would Vegeta have reacted?
look, that's the bridge he would have had to cross when he got there. But at that moment, I'd have been like, "Look, I'm tired of the disrespect, big fella. You're gonna have to see me about that."
Yeah, but basically, Hedo and Gamma 1 are basically saying, "Hey, we're sorry. We'll go to jail again." And everyone's like, "No, you don't have to," even though he probably should at this point. But they basically say, "Come work for Capsule Corp so Bulma can look young again." This was something that really started to bother me. I know it's a goofy movie. Well, not actually a goofy movie, but you know what I mean. But I really got sick of the whole, Bulma has to look young thing. Like, woman, you're in your 40s right now. Shut up.
Gee, boy, she's in her 40s. Oh, God.
Yeah, because her last birthday was the 38th when Beerus smacked her and Vegeta lost it. But she basically, Pan also shows off to Piccolo that she can fly, and Piccolo's like, "Okay, your next training starts tomorrow morning." And then we get the credits, but the movie's not over yet, is it?
Wait. Before we get to that, though, there was the little like clothing little resolution. One, Gohan, you Velma ass bitch. What the fuck do you mean? Has anybody seen my glasses? I can't see. This man literally like, have you guys seen my glasses? I can't see without my
I don't
glasses.
even remember
This is
that.
And I was like,
It might be an English dub thing.
yeah.
I was
But
about to say the sub didn't say
no,
that.
it's like if he doesn't need him in Super Saiyan, he's stayed in Super Saiyan transformation for like a year at one point in the like when he was training to fight Cell. Why doesn't he just do that again and just keep walking? It's not even his strongest form anymore, so it's not that big a deal. He can hold the form probably long enough to go get new glasses.
You want to take this, Jabari?
Why doesn't he do what now? I'm sorry. I zoned out there for a second.
Stayed in Super Saiyan till he could get glasses.
Well, because he's not smart.
Remember, this is
He's an
Goku's
idiot.
child we're dealing with,
Look,
Fair.
man, common sense has never run in that family.
or in this
Very
show.
true.
True.
But-
Also, the second thing I wanted to mention before we get to the ending of it was there was a moment where Bulma was like, "All right, we're good. We're about to leave." Then she goes, "Hey, Goten, do not mention to Chi-Chi that you were here. She'll beat my behind." Like she didn't say she'll beat my behind, but she was like, she would
should've.
hate to find out that you were here. Do not mention that you were here. And I had a thought. I was like, is everybody in this universe just afraid of Chi-Chi?
Wouldn't you
Yes,
Like,
I am.
is that I was like, is
I
that
am.
a thing? Like, is everybody afraid?
She's probably gonna eventually
that-
end up as the God Destroyer or something in the universe because she's gonna be the
Ah.
one to kill Beerus probably.
Oh, God.
That is a terrifying thought to behold.
Yeah. But then we get to the credits, and the movie is almost over, but we're not done yet. Because we go back to Beerus' planet, and Goku and Vegeta are basically exhausted fighting each other. They get in one last punch, and Goku falls. And Whis declares that the winner of the fight is Vegeta. Vegeta's finally beaten Goku. And then Vegeta collapses.
And it was the most hilarious thing in the dub. I'm not even gonna lie to you. He goes, "I did it. I finally beaten Kakara. And he like falls over, and I was like, you fucking. It was hilarious.
I came so close to standing up and just applauding. He's been wanting this for so long. And my friend was watching with me, and he was almost like, "Okay, the credits are happening. Should we go?" I'm like, "No, just in case. I want to stay."
Marvel has destroyed the movie. Oh, don't leave yet. There might be something after the credits.
Yeah. But basically, Sheila is basically saying, "Oh, this is so lame. What do you guys think?" And Limo and Broly are in tears.
I fucking crying their eyes out. I didn't think Broly was capable of crying, if I'm being honest. I thought his default was just anger, like Vegeta.
Well, that was something when they were starting the fight that they focused heavily on, was that Broly's sitting there, like literally, like just his eyes are darting back and forth watching this fight, and it's like he's learning. I mean, they're setting up to make this like a three-way rivalry in the future.
You know, if the series ever comes back, which I hope it does. And
they said they're supposed to next year, I think.
Yeah, I'm not
They
believing
said that
it.
for the past 3 years.
I'm not believing it until I get actual hardened confirmation. But that was basically Dragon Ball Superhero, and it was pretty great.
Mm-hmm.
I will say though, I thought to myself before I saw this movie, are Gohan and Piccolo going to be redeemed? Yes and no. Piccolo got his redemption. Piccolo got a great moment, great build, great fights, everything. Gohan, not as much. Even with being the person to save the day, it didn't feel quite as right as it would have if with Piccolo, in my opinion.
Yes. I put this down specifically. Piccolo's transformation, power-ups, and entire story arc in this, everything feels earned. Gohan, not so much. Everything feels like, oh, we're just kind of retreading the Cell Saga a little bit here. He is the strongest person on the planet. He just has to realize it, kind of thing.
Heck, even when Shenron said, "Oh, I'll give you a little bit of extra power just because I'm a nice guy," I wasn't even bothered by it because I'm like, you know what? This story is so good for Piccolo. I kind of am willing to overlook that. But Gohan, it's just, oh, my friends and family are about to die. Okay, boom.
Yeah, how to put it? I almost wish that the Gammas had stayed the main villains, with Cell Max being either its own thing on another movie, or if if it hadn't just been a monster, if it had actually been like he has the programming and realizes and personality of the original Cell kind of thing. If that had come back, that would have made him a much more threatening villain.
100% agreed. What do you think, Jabari?
Absolutely.
The Gammas thing, the villains. Yes and no. Could it work? Yes. Should you do it? Probably not. Reason why, Cell Max is a disaster. Yes, I will not deny that. That was a misstep. But I did like the Gammas because, one, they were entertaining. 2, they're good, like, fodder, kind of. And 3, there is no 3. Personally, my personal thought on Gohan shit. Gohan's a lost cause, man. He's gonna keep doing this shit. He's not gonna train for like another month and a half. And he's gonna lose his shit. And Pan's gonna get in trouble again. Also, I'm convinced that Piccolo planned this shit out from day one. Things fell way too much in line for him for this to work.
Yeah. He was presented as smart, but it did kind of feel like, did you write this?
I think he did plan it. Honestly, I was like, he knew what was going on.
He knew.
Uh-oh.
But also, I like how Piccolo is everyone's daddy. Like, I'm convinced for a man with no penis, I don't know.
I
I
mean,
don't know. You might have.
I'd say he might actually be my birth dad, but I know for a fact he would have. He probably would have been there. Jay, what did you think?
So, first to answer your question, was Piccolo redeemed? Absolutely 100% yes. Was
Piccolo.
Gohan redeemed? No, but they have pointed him in the right direction. That if they were to continue the story, that he would eventually finish redeeming. Because I will say, this felt like a good continuation from Super when he said, I do want to get stronger. I do want to surpass my limit. And I think they even made a mention of it in the movie when he said it in Super about like, I want to get stronger. I want to surpass my limit. So I think if they were to continue it, give him a little bit more screen time, I feel like, yes, he can get redeemed to the point of not necessarily getting his old glory, but getting enough to where people look at him and don't see a disappointment. All in all, the movie was great. The movie was wonderful. I loved it. Wonderful.
Yeah, I will say we did gloss over one thing. When Pan was flying at the end of the movie, we see 18, we see Krillin, but we see Goten and Trunks fusing, but they get it perfect. But the camera flies right past them as Pan's flying just to tease us.
Bastards.
They did it on purpose.
That
They
was
knew what they were
evil,
doing.
but I respect it.
They knew what they were doing. They knew exactly. I saw that. I did the same thing. I was like, oh, you bitches. You give us so much to take away.
Yeah, it's like in the book.
Yeah, I thought that they were going to kind of turn around
It's
and
like
have her like looking down at everybody.
It's like in Dragon Ball Super Broly when we saw Goku transform into Super Saiyan Blue, but for half a sec they show him turning white, like Ultra Instinct, and I'm like, no, he's not gonna. Oh no, he didn't. Never mind. Yeah, they're very good at that though. But overall, like I said, I have thoroughly enjoyed this movie. Some problems, yeah. Some missed opportunities, yeah. But I was never bored by it. I had so much fun with everything. And if somebody said, hey, you want to go see Dragon Ball Super Broly? I'd say, yeah. Have I seen it? Yeah. Do I want to see it again? I'm not going to say no.
Good answer.
All right.
Is there anything really? What are y'all's feelings about Magenta, Carmine, and Dr. Hedo as kind of the antagonists of the film? Like throughout the majority, they're okay. They never feel 100% threatening, in my opinion.
Good, not
Name
great.
a short man. Name a short villain who has been threatening in Dragon Ball Z.
And I think that was also part of my problem with Magenta, though.
Yeah, why
Is
make
the
him a
fact
dwarf?
that he would not necessarily the fact that he was small and he was supposed to be like the main antagonist. He was small, and then they would have to like accent the fact that he was small with like having random shots of him obviously stepping up on like step stools or whatever, or like stepping up on little step ladders. And I'm like, we already know he's small. We get it. You don't have to show us this every time he's on screen.
And now y'all know why Frieza was going to wish to be taller.
By only a couple centimeters.
To this day, I still don't know if he was serious or not, and I don't think we'll ever learn.
Oh, I'm sure.
convinced he was serious. I'm convinced that idiot was serious.
Same.
Goku makes people dumber, I swear.
I agree.
Yeah.
But is there anything else we want to get off our chest about this movie, or are we good to go?
I'm gonna say something kind of divisive, and I apologize in advance to you guys, and I hope that people aren't too mad at me for saying this, but I'm gonna say it because this is just my own personal opinion. The movie is great. If you don't find at least one thing in this movie that you can enjoy, you can tell me nothing because your anime opinion is flawed. If you can't find at least one thing in this entire movie that you did not like, then you have no reason to tell me anything about anime because there's nothing that you can tell me. And I say that off of the back of several people online who had bashed the movie and said that it was just a bad movie. And I'm like, what do you mean it's a bad movie? Did you just watch it and just went with the intention of making it a bad movie, or you wanted it to be bad? Like, come on, there had to have been something.
I'm just happy that Vegeta and Goku weren't in the spotlight. We needed somebody new.
Yeah. This is the best movie that they aren't the main. One of them doesn't end up saving the day in the end. So
Agreed.
Yeah, and despite all of our gripes about Cell Max, he's better than Bio Broly.
Oh, God, I forgot about him.
Yeah, I don't like remembering Bio Broly either, but at least he's not canon.
Indeed.
yep.
Yeah.
This Broly's so much better than the original anyway, so it doesn't
Yeah, that
really
one has the
matter.
character. You're right.
Right. It's not just Kakarot.
You made me cry when I was an infant, so I hate you.
How do they even remember that?
Because the power of hatred is compelling.
Yeah,
I guess so.
I mean, that's what keeps this channel going.
True. I hate Richard.
I also hate Richard.
Right back at ya.
Jesus Lord.
Then again, I also hate me, so it's cool.
As the gods intended.
Anyways, we ready to close out before Pan shows up and beats all of our asses?
Yep, I'm good.
Alright. So, ladies, gentlemen, and others, what did you guys think of Superhero? Did you think it was great?
Rock and roll.
Did you think it was great? Did you think it was awful? What were your thoughts about it? And you can talk about Sheila in the comments, but like, please just be normal about it.
Yep.
Because you could be dogs about it, but don't be dogs about it. But anyways, just let us know. I'd like to think that maybe we'll cover more movies, but there's not a whole lot that we all enjoy together, so I'm not completely sure about that anymore. But still, let us know and smash, stack, and pin that like, subscribe, and comment button. And check out the other guys' content. I don't know what any of them have, but they have stuff.
I do not.
That's what we not supposed to plug.
Yes.
Sure.
Oh man, I'm so exhausted. If you guys want to follow me on Facebook, I do stream over there. I mainly Fortnite right now, but I am expanding my repertoire. More people that come in and enjoy the content, the more I will be able to expand. So, follow me on Facebook, Toonz and Goons, baby.
Yeah, because I haven't seen you upload stuff to YouTube in a minute, and so Facebook might be it. And Jabari, just follow his Twitter or something. I don't know.
Follow me nowhere. I want none of you around me. I keep to myself.
He's pulling a big E, and I love it.
If any of you follow me, I will hunt you.
Considering how many times
Not in a fun way.
he barged into our room asking for stuff, I'm not sure I believe that. But anyways,
What stuff did I ask from you people?
regardless, we will thank you guys for joining us. and we will see you next time. This has been Alex.
Richard.
Toons and goons, baby.
And Jabari.
And you have been listening to the Anime Egotists. Good night, and peace easy.